everything changes.
Hello people on the internet, my name is Henry Danish and this is Red Cube Everything. We are continuing our games for today and I apologize, there might be a little bit of a delay. My invites for Rainbow Six are acting a little bit funky, so we might just have to kind of sit here and wait a little bit longer, but that does give me and Uzumaki a little bit more time to kind of talk about exactly what is going through the matchup and exactly kind of what is this matchup shaping to be. So obviously, as you guys can tell, you guys can see the maps and the map bands, but unfortunately you can't see the moving background, as I don't know why this happens every once in a while with Streamlabs, but it just decides not to work. But I hope that kind of fixes that temporarily for now. But obviously you guys can see the map bands. We're going to be playing on Coastline first. That's going to be the pick of Viper, and then moving on to Border, and then finally on to Villa, and then obviously the bands to my left. I don't know what your orientation is, but just kind of looking at these maps and just looking at these two teams, obviously they really enjoy meta maps, as we're seeing Coastline and Border, which are the top two most played maps right now in Pro League and RCR6, as well as just CCS. Literally any league possible, those two maps are most likely the top two played. But then we see that the decider, being Villa, is extremely odd, as that is the least that is the map that has the least playing time on it. So obviously just kind of an odd pattern there, two really on meta picks and then switching it off to a very off meta pick, which is just kind of interesting. But nonetheless, let's just get into it about these teams. Obviously Viper and Helm are two extremely competitive teams, but the votes kind of prove otherwise, as many people have decided that Viper should take this one, as Helm getting a just very small amount of votes, which is kind of unfortunate, but also kind of fortunate for them because they can stay as that underdog. But Uzumaki, what is your kind of first take on this matchup?
So I haven't really seen Helm play much this season. I do know that they recently picked up Twick. He's a really good flex player. He can play pretty much any position that you put. He's got really good aim. His reaction time is probably one of the best that I've seen. I used to actually be on a team with him. He's really good on that anchor play, given that he can either be an Echo or Maestro. He's really good on Zofia, or he can even play Thermite if you need him to. I'm not too sure about the other players that Helm has picked up, but from what I've seen with Viper, they can play both sides. They can both be passive and aggressive, as we saw in their last match. I believe they won 2-1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, that is true. Against Relentless, yeah.
Yeah, so Viper was just able to just claw their way back. I think it was like, wasn't it that match where like they would go like up 2 and then tie
Down,
again?
Yeah, and then tie again, yes.
It was
very
such an insane match to cast, and my MVP for that match would have to be setting up until the third map, and he just started playing like it was ranked.
Yeah.
But overall, that was a really good match to see. I hope to see a very good matchup again here, given that the last match we saw was pretty much one-sided.
Yeah.
And hopefully both of these teams are able to give us a run for our money.
Yeah, so just kind of looking at these teams as well is, obviously, guys, like I said, we're having a little bit of a delay on the invite side of things, so we're just going to kind of just give you guys as much intel as possible and just kind of what's going on behind this match. But basically, Helm coming into this game, they do find themselves in a very tough position in the ladder. I'm going to display that for you guys right now. Helm is near the bottom half of the ladder. That means they are out of playoff contention for now, but again, guys, it's week 5, so we can't really make a end-all be-all prediction for them, but they are near the bottom. They are kind of at that 10th place spot, so they're 6 spots away from the bottom. But Viper, on the other hand, I think are one of the most impressive teams so far this season, and they are just kind of proving that week in, week out, that they are here to be a team you have to kind of put on your list to watch out for, as they found themselves at a 5th spot, and that is really nice spot to be in. It's kind of mid-table near the top half of it, and they have been playing so well. Whereas Helm, like you said, Uzumaki, we haven't really seen much of them. They've been kind of quiet, a little bit on the back end of things, on the back burner, whereas Viper, all of their players are active in the Discord, all of their players are active in the Twitter. Everybody on that Helm roster is extremely active, whether it be in-game or whether it be in the Discord talking to people. So we know quite a lot about Viper, whereas Helm, kind of just this like dark horse of a team. But like I said, that can kind of help them, because if you don't really have too much about a team, if you don't really know how they're going to play, you could see Helm here maybe pull out a strat we've never seen before and just completely wipe the floor with Viper. As I think we actually are going to be one of the players to just disconnect, but they are reconnecting. So again, guys, I do apologize for this little bit of a delay. But another thing that is kind of odd to see with these two teams is they've both, well, not both of them, but Helm has had quite a lot of roster moves. Not quite a lot, but they haven't had roster moves, but they've been swapping in subs. And what I mean by that is they've kind of kept the same roster, but the rotation of who's actually playing in the game has been different week in, week out, and that can kind of throw off a team a little bit. But like you said, Uzumaki, with the fact that, as my overlay goes black once again, I apologize. But like you said, Uzumaki, with the addition of Swick into the kind of picture, he is an incredibly good player. As finally all of the players are in, but I think we're just going to get right into it because we've delayed a little bit too much. So we will see you guys on the map of Coastline. I'm pretty sure all of them are ready. Actually, before I kind of get into that, let's make sure they're ready. But kind of just to speak about, how much of a difference do you think Swick can make to this Helm roster?
I do think Swick, I used to call him Luna, but there's already another Luna there, so I'll just search him as Swick.
Yeah.
I do think Luna can be a very dynamic player for this Helm lineup. He's a very versatile player. He can play any role that you want him to and play it effectively. He's a really good droner. He plays for the team. Pretty much an all-around player that you would look for. And I think that Helm could need this player.
Yeah.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to both Swick and Ollie. Those are my boys, and I hope that they have a very good matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Ali is, I think, everybody's boy. If you guys don't follow Ali on Twitter, he is one of the funniest guys I think I know. But all the players are in the match. We are now just waiting on the confirm to make sure that everybody is ready. And I think this match, which is kind of odd, I think this match is going to be a lot closer than the last match of Hyper versus Moral. But the community votes are screaming in favor of Viper, which is just, in my opinion, just really odd to see, because I'm coming into this match and I'm thinking Viper and Helm, this is going to be a really good match. Whereas on the last match, I saw Hyper and Moral, and I was like, Moral have kind of proven themselves. Hyper are really in a tough spot. Whereas these two teams, they're not really in tough spots, but the community really is favoring this Viper side. And it's just kind of odd to see, but I'm just still waiting to get to confirm that all the players are ready. I'm just you're gonna see me keep glancing back and forth to the chat. But obviously, with the decider of Villa, and we kind of have two really meta picks as the first two maps, what do you think, who do you think has the advantage if this does go to a map 3?
My vote is Viper. I do know that when Viper, it was against Yeah. And Ya is one of those teams that recently came into the league from CCS. Mm-hmm. And they had actually, I think they lost to Viper on Coastline, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so in Coastline, I think Helm made a mistake in not banning it. I don't know if they were watching the VODs on this channel, or it is possible that it could have gotten deleted. But I don't know if Helm was very wary of Viper's play on Coastline, but if they're not prepared to counter-strat Viper is going to just run over everyone on Helm.
Alright, so guys, we are just going to get right into it here. We don't want to delay anymore. We will see you on the map of Coastline. All the players are ready. This is going to be a great, great matchup. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just like that, we are going to be going into the operator ban phase. And I think Coastline is one of those maps where I think actually a lot of the maps nowadays, the bans kind of seem to be repetitive a little bit. Obviously, I think, in my opinion, it's probably because we have the ban phase right now is just kind of getting rid of operators you don't like and not really tactical bans, as I think this Blackbeard ban and most likely a Lion ban after it is going to fit that trademark very well, because it seems right now there's not really many strats and there's not really many like kind of things that go with a ban. You're not really banning crazy operators, you're just banning operators because they're annoying. I really don't like that, and in Coastline I feel like it's almost increased tenfold, because Coastline's one of those maps where it's kind of 50-50 because everybody loves Coastline. So I really am just like that line is going to be off the board. So right now, I really don't like where the ban phase is at in Rainbow Six Siege. I already say it's my favorite part because it can completely change a game, but it hasn't really changed the game in quite a while because it's become so linear, so repetitive, and it's a little unfortunate to see that. I'm really hoping some Rainbow Six developers or just some ideas come into the play for Rainbow Six Leagues that we can kind of get the smartness back into these bans rather than just kind of banning out some random operators just because you don't like them.
Yeah, Coastline is a very, in my opinion, strat-heavy map. It requires a lot of developed strategies to be able to make your team work and to win your team rounds. I do know that we've seen more Coastline played as it's been in the map pool. It's currently been in the map pool for over a year and a half now. When Coastline first came out, a lot of teams didn't want to play it mostly because it was new, and really the only site that people were comfortable with was just Penthouse, and then even to an extent, maybe even Hookah and Billiards. But the more that Coastline has been in the map pool, the more that we see teams venture out to the Pink and Blue Bar, to the kitchen and service entrance, which actually those two sites are a lot more common compared to Penthouse with this meta that with Lion in the game and a lot of other operators with just so much soft destruction underneath the floor. You can have your Buck in main lobby trying to get rid of the defenders playing in theater. You can have him underneath in the service entrance, getting rid of the bandit charges and potentially tossing a nade up above onto the ceiling to frag the bandit on the floor above you. And Penthouse, in my opinion, is one of the lesser sites that are defense favored and more attacker favored, mostly due to that big window. And if you try to go out and get someone that's repelling on that big window, say a Blackbeard, in not in this case, but in another case, then you're most likely either going to have a Claymore on that service entrance doorway, or you're going to have somebody watching you run out. And it's almost just like asking to die if you try to commit to that.
And something that's actually very interesting about the sites on Coastline is kitchen service entrance is actually the most winnable site according to statistics. It has a 67% win for the defense, whereas Penthouse has a mere 49%. So things like that, it's kind of interesting because in ranked and in kind of casual, casual you can't choose sites, so that doesn't really work. But ranked, you're gonna always see those people. Let's go to Coastline. Let's go to Penthouse. Let's go to Hookah. But based on the numbers and just based on the history of how the Coastline is kind of developed, those two sites are actually the worst on Coastline. Yes, they probably have more playing time and more people have just kind of kept going there, so the numbers are a little bit tainted. But the fact that Kitchen overshadows the percentage of wins so much of Penthouse and so much of Hookah, it's really interesting to see not as many teams go there, but it's really smart here, I think, just going there in the first time around that the defense of Helm have decided to do. I think it's a really good call for them.
Right, and Helm is actually trying their best to defend this pink bar with they're investing a lot of utility with. There was a Bandit downstairs or Jaeger downstairs playing with those Luna S downstairs with unimpeded, but he might have retreated back up to Cool Vibes to play upstairs in the Billiards. As actually Flacco Luna's gonna get the first frag onto Geo. That's a very good frag, because not only is that your Zofia down, but Geo is known to be one of the top fraggers for Viper. Very good impact frag to come out from Luna, and Flacco, what a shot onto 7! Being able to pick off the sledge, that's your nades gone, as well as soft destruction. And this is only the first minute of the round, and Viper's already in a 3v5 deficit.
Yeah, as we do see Flacco here, still behind this bar, is going to be proven to be a nuisance for this IQ of Ollie, who is searching to push in, and here comes the push. Obviously, Valkyrie has been droned out, so the intel is there, but she has moved behind the wall. I don't think he's noticed just like that!
To get the wall bang, that's the Ollie! He goes down inside of the pink connector, and it's currently a 2v5 situation, and this is only half of the round gone.
absolutely dominant so far from this defense, and they have looked so good, but potentially a plant coming down here from Bean. There isn't much denial, as Echo did miss his charge, but nonetheless, we are going to be seeing Swick land those shots, and there goes your plant. It's going to be all up to Nate. He has to get a 1v5 clutch ace here. He has time to do it, but it is definitely not plausible. His shots are going to riddle up through the barricade, are going to land, and just like that, Luna is going to be going down, making the deficit just a little bit more easy to overcome. But it is a very tough feat indeed.
Helm off to a very strong start here. And honestly, a lot of people were just expecting Viper to just wipe the floor with Helm, given their recent track record. But so far in this round here, I think Helm, if they keep up this momentum, will potentially win this entire match. As Nate's going to swing in, but Sublime is ready to frag him out, and Helm is going to win round number 1 here on Coastline. What a showing from Helm, defying all the odds from the pole.
Yeah, it was already, I think that is the perfect round to show. As a guys, I see that there was a little bit of a lag voice issue. We have just changed the server in the Discord. It was set to Mexico South for some reason. Don't know why, but we are not there. So it should be a lot better now. But obviously, like you just said, going up against the pole quite significantly there, Helm coming into this matchup really have nothing backing them. And what I mean by that is they literally have zero community backing in winning this one out. And the fact that they come out first round with that dominant performance, that's going to boost their confidence quite a lot. Because right now in their comms, I almost guarantee they're saying probably something like, guys, we got this. Forget what everybody else is saying. We just did that and we can continue to do that. So that's huge confidence booster right off the bat. And it wasn't just a simple win on the very beginning. It was a dominant win. It was almost a flawless victory, kind of an unimpactful kill coming out from that Capitão, making it 4 versus 1 and 4 being alive rather than 5. But it still was an absolute, I would still call that a flawless round for the defense. And if they continue that just kind of out of the box play where Flacco was playing a strong roam game, Swick was getting a couple kills, Unimpeded with that Lesion was just wasting time, Luna was getting kills, Sublime in the smoke was wasting time as well, it's going to be impossible to beat. That's a recipe that is so good. But again, guys, it's only round number 1. There's still a lot of Rainbow Six to play. And I'm most likely, almost 100% positive, we're going to have to see Viper answer here very soon.
Right, and given that this is Viper's map pick and the way that Helm just completely dismantled their attack, I think Viper is going to have a run for their money, and they could be in a ton of trouble here if Helm is able to keep, like, if they play every single round the way they just did that previous round, I see Viper in a very large hole, and it could be very hard to come back from.
And you know what's interesting about the play from, as struggling to put the Claymore down as Geo, but what's very interesting about that play from Helm was they played confidently, and just like that, Sublime with a very nice peek. That's going to be the IQ down. That's a lot of utility, but Sledge is going to be there to get the refrag. So 7 with a huge refrag. That's going to be Smoke. Playing a little bit aggressive on that smoke roll could come back to bite this Helm side, as that is your plant denial and entry denial off of the board. It's a little bit of an unfortunate refrag, definitely in favor of Viper, as Ollie continues dominance there, going to be getting a kill onto Swick, taking down the Echo. So the only plant denial is now wiped off of the board, leaving Lesion, Valkyrie, and Jaeger.
Right, as unimpeded as the attackers. Wow, Viper has already taken control of Penthouse, and there's only seeming to be one person inside, as Luna does get fragged. The remaining 2 defenders are currently under the site. And Viper is already taking control of Master as well as Theater. And given the situation here, I don't think Helm is going to be able to come back and win this unless Viper manages to overpeak and get too aggressive. The only time we'll tell within these next 30 seconds is Unimpeded is currently sitting down this 90 hallway, just waiting. Pings are coming out for him, giving him intel, as there is an attacker behind the bomb. That is going to be Geo, but a concussion mine is going to stop the tracks of an Unimpeded, as Unimpeded is not able to see 7 as he was concussed, leaving it all up to Flacco. In a 1v4 situation, he has to find all 4 attackers, but it's not going to be enough time, as Flacco is just going to try to save his life here, try to preserve the KD, as he does hear someone coming down luggage. That's going to be Ollie coming down luggage, as 2 more attackers come from the 90 hallway. 7 able to clean up the round and tie things up here 1-1 on Coastline.
And that was the perfect, that is exactly what the doctor ordered there for Viper. Helm came out first round, lots of confidence, dominant performance. Second round, Viper has to do the exact same thing, and they answered perfectly. They got right into sight, right into the face of the defense, and just got that plant down. And it looked shaky in the beginning. When we saw that Smoke get the very first kill, I was thinking it's going to be a repeat of the very first round. But not at all. We saw a huge refrag coming out there from Ollie, and then Geo getting a couple kills for himself. It was perfect. That's exactly what they need to do in that situation. Just continue their dominance and just kind of continue with their confidence as well, because they don't want to be put down into a hole early, and they just kind of dug themselves right out of the hole that Helm put them in round one.
Yeah, so what I feel like Helm could have done different to make Penthouse a bit more secure. So they have Luna on the ACOG with that Echo. What Luna could do is go over to the VIP, and if you reinforce the VIP walls over on the far side.
Wait, Swick was on the Echo.
Yeah. So so here's what they could have done differently. So on the southwest walls of VIP, towards that little cubby area, Luna would reinforce those two walls and place a shield right there on the cubby that watches the boxes. And then you have Luna over here in that northeast corner of VIP. So what that does is it allows that Jaeger to play the VIP hall, to play the Hall of Fame hall. And if Luna needs to, he can look over to the big window and catch anyone trying to peek over to that Jaeger. And and the last few times that I've seen people try to use that strat, it's been very effective, and teams try to waste so much utility and so much time trying to get out that Doc or Rook or Echo or just that ACOG defender out of that spot. But if teams can try to use that, maybe if they watch this VOD, they can probably take that and put it in their strat book. But moving on to the first 20 seconds here, we are going to be seeing Unimpeded making his roam in the lobby as Lesion. And we do see Luna S over on these cool vibe stairs here, over by Hookah, as Unimpeded's coming up here to help him out should any attackers come through. And Nader already shooting down that VIP window on the rappel, just waiting to see if he can catch any defenders. Meanwhile, there's a defender trying to peek over, seeing if he can catch anyone off guard as Bean is rappelling up. And Sublime sitting inside his sight as Bean gets the frag onto Unimpeded. That's the Lesion gone, as Bean has been lit up to about 10 HP. Meanwhile, Ollie gets the frag onto Sublime, and that's the Smoke gone. Smoke being very aggressive yet again. Not too sure why he's being super aggressive in this hallway, but Ollie already smoking offside, and the attackers already have control of Penthouse, and it's only been the first minute of the round. Ollie moving in with the Capitao, just waiting on this Thermite to come find us. Seven gets a frag onto Swick. Meanwhile, Seven does go down here, and Nader gets a frag onto Luna with just the Valkyrie lone downstairs. Bean starting to get the plant off, and the plant will go down. 1v5 situation here for Flacco as Flacco is going to get the frag onto Bean as he drops carelessly down the hatch. And Ollie's going to clean things up here, getting the final frag onto Flacco to give Viper a 2-1 advantage here on Coastline.
That felt a little bit like a deja vu situation, because that push was literally exactly the same. The only discrepancies might have been how fast or how slow Thermite pushed into the penthouse area, but overall, that was just the complete... It was almost a mirror of the second round there for Viper. They pushed into sight, they looked for opportunities to get kills on the back end of theater, and they got them exactly like they did the second round, repeated it in the third round, and it worked very, very well. So great play there from Viper. Helm need to kind of figure out an answer. It's good here that obviously they have the reset of sights. They can go back down to kitchen, maybe get a nice dominant performance on downstairs in kitchen. But with Viper almost getting a repeat of two very dominant rounds, that's not looking good for Helm. They need to get an answer quickly here, because they do not want to let Viper get confidence, because we know from last week, Viper is a confidence-ridden team. If they have confidence, if they have backing, if they have their mind in the right spot, it's going to be extremely hard to beat them. We saw that last week. Every time they started winning rounds, it was almost impossible for Relentless to answer. So Helm need to answer quickly.
Right, and on the first round here, Helm looked very convincingly strong on this kitchen service entrance hold. Like I mentioned before, Penthouse is one of those sites that we don't often see held much more in this meta, given that we still have the Zofia in play. We have a lot of a lot of utility to be used on the attack.
Like a Capitao, we saw that, or
Yeah,
even just the way Viper was playing it.
Yeah, so but I also think the problem here is that Helm is playing way too aggressive downstairs, and Sublime is just playing super aggressive on the smoke when he doesn't exactly need to. Like, his main purpose should be for plant denial, but if he's able to get some frags on the roam, that's fine. But meanwhile, Luna lining up with the head here through the barricade, but he doesn't know that he's exactly right there. Shots coming out, none of them are gonna hit as Gio's getting dropped down to about 90 HP. Luna's still playing here in the billiard side. I don't think he has much backup here. Things are coming out as Seven is making his way to the billiards. Peaks are coming around. He's barely gonna miss out on Luna, who has retreated over to the aquarium doorway. 3 attackers are currently made their way up here on the hookah balcony. Drones are coming out from Nader as Seven is currently waiting for a flank on the cool vibe stairs. As Gio's Claymore is gonna get the frag as unimpeded jumps out of a window, I'm pretty sure. And honestly, Helm needs to slow down on their aggression and just be a little bit more passive if they're going to try to win out win this map against Viper.
See, something I don't understand here is this is not who you want on the roam. You do not want to smoke roaming upstairs. He is your site operator, and he's going to get picked off fairly easily here. Yes, he got 1 kill, but that is a trade I'll take any day of the week. If I drop out, it makes it a 4v1 here. So it's just not looking good there. You cannot get rid of that smoke so early on. You cannot get rid of your plant denial so early on an entry denial. As now it's going to be all up to Swick. And yes, Swick's a great player, but this is a tough task. But he gets Diffuser. That could be it. He just has to stay alive here. But Capitao is right there watching him. And it's unfortunately going to be another dominant performance there from Viper. Helm did not bring the proper utility or the proper, I guess, style of play to just win that out and gain their momentum back because they're playing way too aggressive. We saw Smoke, we saw Lesion, both operators that get better as the round goes on, knocked off right away. And that's just something that you cannot have keep happening if you're on the team, if you're on the side of Helm.
Right. Like I said, I don't understand why the Smoke is upstairs, first off. And I don't understand why the Lesion is roaming by himself. He needs to have somebody playing with him in order to get some trades going. Because if you're by yourself, no one's around to trade for you, and you're putting your team at a massive disadvantage if you're dead. As well as Sublime just playing upstairs by himself. That to me just doesn't make much sense. He could have been hiding maybe in the penthouse. Maybe he could have opened up the hatch to drop and catch some attackers by surprise. But things are not looking too hot here for Helm.
Yeah, it's just kind of been it was a really good start. I think that we when we first came into this matchup and we saw the community vote all in favor of Viper, I was really not expecting Helm to come in with so much confidence to just get that dominant first round defense win. And it's kind of fizzled out here. It seems as if they used all their pixie magic in the first round, and now we just kind of are stuck in this loop of this almost exact same rounds where the attack keeps winning by a significant margin. And I know I'm kind of ringing the same bell twice there because I said that these just look like repeated rounds, but that's just what is happening. Helm kind of continues to do the same mistakes. They play a little bit too aggressive, and we can see Viper is capitalizing on those mistakes the same way. They're getting easy refrags and easy trades, and then just gaining the advantage early on. So they need to Helm needs to fix something here. They need to kind of take a reset, calm down a little bit. They came in guns blazing hot as a pistol, and they need to cool down. The best thing to do now is, now you're down, take a moment, take a breather. Let's figure this out, and we can bring this right back to a 3-3.
Right, as there is currently a defender hiding around in that CCTV connector. Meanwhile, Sublime trying to hold down this pink bar like they did last time. Ollie's drone is going to get fragged out as Seven has made his way over to the hookah lounge. As we see Gio and Ollie trying to roam clear downstairs as Flacco is retreated over to the blue bar connector. Sublime sees that Flacco gets the shot onto Gio. That's the Zofia dead. Good frag coming out here from Flacco to get that Zofia. That's a ton of utility off the board for Viper in the first minute of this 5th round.
That's a
Flacco.
Go ahead.
Was a really good frag. That was a really good frag from Flacco, as the attackers are still trying to make their presence known upstairs. Unimpeded is just waiting for the time to come out in this, and Ollie's going to give a ping out that he knows that someone is playing behind the bar. That is going to be the Doc playing behind there, and Sublime, if he were to peek up right now, if Ollie were to move over, he can get that frag onto Ollie, but Seven is not going to drone that back plant area, as normally you wouldn't see a defender playing over there.
Oh!
Wow, okay, Sublime is just gonna turn his back and give Ollie the free frag. And Nader's gonna go down here as Doc picks himself back up, but that's not gonna be enough for Flacco. As Flacco does die to Ollie here in a 3v3 situation currently if Nader doesn't get picked back up. Doesn't seem like that either Unimpeded or Sublime are able to control this SMG-11 recoil. That's kind of biting them in the butt as the recoil just seems to be kicking up so high. As Nader has been picked back up, Ollie is still on very low HP, so there's actually 3 attackers on low HP.
That's
First smoke grenade last smoke grenade actually gonna come down. That's a lot of utility just gone and wasted. If he were to shoot through the smoke, he could get that frag, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, very premature kind of waste of the smokes as the wall is soft next to that thermite, but they're going to opt to instead just open up the entire meta barricade. But Ollie is able to get a frag onto the roaming bandit, so it's just going to be up to the last site operators, and you have no more entry denial. Unimpeded using his smoke canisters very, very early on, and yes, you still have Swick who can directly deny plant, but he is just getting bombarded by every type of angle, and it's another 4v1 situation. Deja vu, deja vu, deja vu. How many times are we gonna see it? 4v1, Swick's the last guy alive, it is all left to him, and Smoke somehow, some way, has either wasted his smokes or is dead. Literally, that's what's been happening this entire time. Helm need to figure that out. They're making the same mistakes, and they're just kind of on this Ferris wheel of mistakes going over and over and over and over again, and they need to just kind of hit the cancel button on the Ferris wheel, jump off the Ferris wheel, and just kind of get out of that fair, because it is just not a good place to be right now, and they're almost I don't want to say gifting rounds to Viper, but Viper just are getting these rounds a lot easier than normally because they're just capitalizing on the exact same mistake every single time.
Right. It could be maybe they should try to trade some roles, get Luna on that smoke. I don't know if he's practiced with that SMG-11 or not, but if he has, Luna could be a very dangerous smoke player as he's known to be pretty passive. He doesn't overpeak unless it's necessary. Because we've seen him last alive, I think, 4 times in a row.
Yeah, it's either Luna or Swick are going to be the last 2 alive.
Yeah, but Swick is just he's seems to be like the last defender that's alive. Either three out of the 5 rounds that we saw there. As Viper has opted to go for the pink and blue bar as their first choice of defense, and I'm not too sure what can happen here. Like I said, anything can happen on a pink and blue bar take. It all just depends on how these attackers formulate their plan. And depends on whether or not they're able to hit their shots.
This isn't actually very untypical for Viper. Viper, last time against Yeah Gaming, they went tier first as well. I think it's a great way for them. Obviously, I don't know if Helm were able to watch the VOD, but this is a great way that Viper uses to kind of throw off the other team a little bit, because nobody is obviously you can expect it a little bit, but nobody's really saying, oh, they're for sure going pink blue bar, because that's not a sight you typically see. So Viper did this last week. They do it just to kind of throw off the other team, but they're also really good at this sight. So it's kind of 2 birds with 1 stone. And if Helm were prepared for this sight, which I don't really think they brought the proper operators for it, they would have still had a hard time. But now, because they kind of brought maybe not the best kind of composition for a team to attack this site, it's going to be really hard for them to kind of take this one here.
Right. Luna currently joining out the bathroom in the penthouse as Luna has already dropped down the bathroom hatch, just waiting for calls to come up from Unimpeded and Swick. Sublime is making his way over to the main stairs window. Pings are coming out here from someone on luggage as Flacco's going to get the first frag onto 7. That's going to be the Jaeger dead. And Flacco just able to land a very nice shot. And that's going to be 7 dead in the first minute of the round here. Luna Swick, is currently droning through the luggage hold as Ollie is currently playing downstairs in the CCTV, taking a Sublime where to open up the floor here. Could potentially get a frag onto Ollie as they know that Geo is inside of billiards. Calls, pings, shots fired at Geo. As Geo's not prepared and Sublime gets the second frag onto Geo. And Sublime just able to easily pick off Geo as Ollie is still hiding inside of the CCTV. And if Sublime were to make his way down the stairs here and track Ollie, he could potentially frag out Ollie. I don't know if he knows that he's exactly down here, but like I said, if he shoots open that hatch and luggage, Ollie's a dead man.
I think possibly, I think Sublime does know he's down there, as we did see the ping come out from him, but I am not 100% sure. But obviously, top control has been basically gifted to this attacking side, and it's a great start to this round. Obviously, it's also 5-3, so they have the man advantage. Leisure Minds are going to be activated, just giving a little bit of intel to these players, but as well as the fact Dokkaebi has the cam. So right now, we are seeing this attacking team of Helm. They have all the resources, they have everything they need to make an effective push, but Ali is going to take down Swick, but Luna with the quick refrag, and Ali is going to go down. That is going to be a Lesion off of the board, and it's going to be up to the Echo and the Smoke. 2 plant denial and 2 entry denial operators. Yes, they're both very good at clutch situations, but a 4 versus 2 is always a very, very tough task.
Right, there's currently nobody playing in the blue bar, which is pretty weird to me, as Nate is just hiding in this kitchen. Shots coming out from Bina, they're not going to be able to land just enough onto Sublime as he gets this 3rd frag. Nader gets the frag onto Unimpeded, and Nader trying to fight his way in this 1v4 clutch situation. Plant is going down in the A site, but the Echo Drone is nowhere near. Meanwhile, there's an attacker pushing his way through corner as Nader gets the down onto Sublime. That's going to be another frag 1v2 situation here for Nader, as he's going to try to use his Echo Drone to give himself as much intel for his teammates to call out where they are. Flacco currently hiding in this pink bar, as that shockwave is barely going to hit the glass. Nader doesn't have much time, as half of the diffuser round has gone through, and there is an attacker currently sitting inside of the offices, as that is Luna on the Ash, and Flacco currently sitting inside a pink bar.
Oh,
Nader not able to pwn his way through. Such an unfortunate mishap. Nader currently spraying through the smoke, not able to hit any shots. But Nader does not have enough time here. Luna gets the final frag and pins the nail in the coffin on Nader to give Helm the 2nd round that they need here on Coastline.
I don't want to kind of ring the bell too quickly because we don't really know how that would have turned out, but I feel if that hole was just opened up a little bit more, we could have seen somewhat of a ninja defuse there, as what the Echo did was he got his drone up, shocked the glass, and in the moment that that glass was looking for the Echo drone, he rotated where he was watching. Very, very intelligent play from the Echo. But it just was unfortunately blocked by a barricade, well, not barricade, but a wall itself, and he wasn't able to get that kind of cheeky ninja defuse. Obviously, he did still have Ash in the way. Could have been a refrag there, could have been a frag there for Echo or Ash. We obviously don't know because we can't tell the future. But nonetheless, it was still a really, really smart play there from the Echo. Helm still getting the win, but a little bit kind of close for comfort, but it's still a very good confidence booster for Helm, knowing that they can kind of bring this one slowly back on level terms.
Yeah, Helm able to kind of pump the brakes a bit and pump the brakes of Viper and give themselves some kind of confidence boost. And that round could not have been played out any more better, as they were able to easily just get the roamers upstairs within the 1st minute. And Geo was just getting pinged out, called out, shot at, and he had no idea where the attackers were coming from, and Sublime just smartly waiting for him on the other side of Aquarium to greet him with a headshot. And Viper looked a little shaken up after they lost their two important roamers upstairs. Yeah,
the roam game definitely was extremely flawed there for Viper. They had really good positioning. They were in this great spots that they had almost a focused roam, as I like to call it. They were had quadrants on top of the map that they wanted to hold down. But the problem wasn't their positioning or how they were playing their role. It was just the fact they couldn't get the kill, they couldn't secure a frag, and they couldn't just land their shots. So it came down to a little bit of mechanical skill there, which is very good to see Helm capitalizing on that, possibly giving them the confidence they need to bring a couple rounds back here. But Geo placing mute jammers is a little odd, I feel, as just kind of placing them in the middle of hallways isn't something you typically want to see, because if they do have a twitch, she does have the range to just kind of zap that out of the hallway, whereas if it was around a corner, she couldn't possibly do that. But there is no twitch, so that kind of is not applicable. But still, having those mute jammers in the middle of the hallway, yes, it stops Jones a little bit more effectively, but it's just kind of odd to see that.
Yeah, but the last few times that we've seen Viper play here, they have had that mute jammer in the middle of the floor, given that none of the attacking teams have brought a twitch. So
yeah, with
that mute jammer just sitting there in the middle of the floor there, it's not too terrible. But Sublime currently making his way towards this main window. Ping's coming out here. but he's not able to land any shots onto Geo upstairs as Seven is waiting. And Luna gets, and Swick gets the frag onto Geo. Very good shot from Swick to be able to take out the mute, as Seven is just patiently waiting for this Jackal to come up. Shots are going to be fired, but he only lands one. Seven's able to escape very easily down into the main lobby. Sublime making his way into the couches area. Swick patiently waiting for these defenders to try to make their way into his crosshairs, as Sublime's first track is going to be on Seven, the Jaeger himself.
Yeah, so Seven just kind of seeking refuge in the site now, just going to be sitting behind the table, making sure his other teammates are there to get any crossfires or any pinches so that the push doesn't come out and kill him. It's a very smart play there from the Jaeger, just kind of shying off from that roam. He's wasted quite a lot of time as well, because there's 1 minute down here, there's only 1 minute, there's 2 minutes down here, only 1 minute left for this attack to really do anything, and they still haven't stepped foot on the same floor as the site. Yes, they have a lot of vertical control, but Seven there is able to get a kill onto Sublime, but Swick quickly with a refrag. So very good frag there, getting rid of Ollie. That's going to be the Legion off the board, and again, a very important operator late in the round, as that is a very dangerous angle to hold against the Glaz, as somehow we saw that smoke escape with his life, but just very smart retreating off, as one smoke is going to be used, and Seven's getting a nice frag there, evening the terms, but Thermite is going to be opening the wall, and just like that, Seven is able to get another one that's going to be on Luna. But because of this site control and kind of all the pressure now on this defensive team, it's almost at level terms, but time is slowly ticking down.
What a shot here from Swick, as he's able to get the frag onto Seven, but Swick goes down with Diffuser in sight, as Nader is currently sitting outside the courtyard. But what a shot from Flacco, 1v1 situation. He does have to grab Diffuser, and he can't plant safely behind the bomb. Echo Drone coming out, but this is not looking good here, as Nader is able to win out the round for Viper.
Uh-oh.
And oh no, the shot isn't able to hit, as Flacco is currently planting.
Oh,
meanwhile,
what?
Nader is not able to die. Nader, what? Flacco on 1 HP. How is he still alive? What? Wow, he's able to get the plant off, and Nader not able to hit the shots onto Flacco, not even downing him. Wow, talk about a stroke of massive luck if your name is Flacco. And Flacco is currently sitting out here just on a drone waiting, as he does see Echo making his way out here, and Flacco just has to hide from Nader, as Nader doesn't have any time. Nader making his way back to the site, trying to see if he can go for a defuse. He does not have much time. He is going to try to long arm this diffuser, but I don't think that Flacco knows that he's diffusing. He could potentially get this defuse, but Flacco misses the shot, and he gets the shot into Nader! What a shot from Flacco, as he's able to barely win out the round for Helm, giving them a 4-3 advantage and trying to bring this closer to a tie at 4-4.
That was such a major stroke of luck for Helm. The fact that not only could Echo not land his Sonic Boom and deny that plant, but the fact that somehow not able to land those shots in the glass, leaving him at exactly 1 HP. They got to be thanking the Rainbow Six Siege gods for that one. And post-plant situation, you're going to be putting your money on Glaz every single day of the week. Really smart play by him, just hiding it out, waiting it out, and then landing the for sure shot to secure the round. Really strong play there from the Glaz. Yes, there was a stroke of luck. I mean, it wasn't a stroke, but a giant slap of luck, I think. But they still won the round, and that is what matters. So right now, Viper got to be shaking in their boots a little bit, coming very close now to tying this up as Helm.
Yeah, Viper got to be extremely exhausted after that round. They probably have to be feeling very disappointed that Nader wasn't able to clutch out that round, as the first shockwave did hit, but it just wasn't enough. I think that if Nader would have waited just a couple more seconds, given that there is a 7-second plant time, if he fires that Echo Drone shot precisely when the timer hits 0, and that honestly wins the round out, because there's no way that Flacco is able to plant the diffuser since he started planting it with 5 seconds left to go compared to 6 seconds, which would have barely gotten the diffuser on time.
There's also a very strong opportunity for Nader to actually move his Echo Drone. And if you're kind of confused, you're saying, well, why would he do that? It could have potentially got shot. The Glaz had to stick the plant. If he quickly moved that Echo Drone the first time that Glaz went down to plant, he would have been in a much more advantageous position to deny that plant a couple more times. So in the heat of the moment, you kind of just want to say, stick it, we just got to put it here because we don't want to risk losing it. But maybe Nader should have taken a moment and said, wait a second, guys, there's really a very, very low chance that the Glaz will actually be able to find my Echo Drone, let alone this could win the round. So, a little bit of a misplay there from Nader, but it's a very, very minor misplay in the fact that it's hard to recognize those types of situations. Oh.
Yeah, so Penthouse normally isn't one of those preferred sites to hold, given in within the most recent minutes. Flacco barely gonna miss the shots here onto Gio. Gio is aggressively peeking out this big window. At least I think that was Gio. No,
It was 7.
It's 7. Yeah, 7 just being a monkey here, landing a couple of shots here onto Flacco, aggressively peeking this big window, missing his shots. But 7's gonna retreat, sitting back at 75 HP with Flacco sitting at about 80. And 7 just does not want to give up this gunfight just yet to Flacco, as 7 knows that he can hit this shot. But Flacco still trying to waste as much time as he can, as that drone is going to bounce off the radiator. And he is going to land a couple of shots onto 7, but given that 7 is dark, oh no, he's actually used all of his stim shots. So he's either going to have to go for a reset here or just try to waste his life away trying to frag out Flacco, as he's not going to land the shots and 7's going to go down. Meanwhile, Nader is in a safe position to pick him back up, but Ollie gets the first frag onto Sublime. That's the Jackal dead. And Ollie able to get a good impact frag. No more tracking coming out here from the attackers. Flacco barely missing the shot right there, as Ollie is currently on 20 HP, sitting in this 90 hallway. 7 going for some very aggressive peeks yet again, as Flacco has moved away from this radiator and 7 is not aware of that. Meanwhile, Swick has been down here in the billiards. Luna trying to see if he can bait out any defenders coming around. Flash coming out to give some safe passage as Swick is getting picked back up. There's only 45 seconds left to go with Gio sitting inside of Hookah, inside of VIP. Ooh. And there's a attacker repelling outside of here. Gio's missing his shots, retreated back into Hall of Fame. Ollie's still sitting out here at 90, but the attackers don't have much time to make their attack work. Things are looking very good here for Viper, as Gio's still patiently waiting inside of this corner of the VIP lounge with only 25 seconds left.
And just like that, we are going to see a flurry of kills there, as Bean is able to get a kill onto Luna, but unimpeded with a quick trade. But the advantage still in favor of this defense, and with 14 seconds left, this is basically over for this attacking side. Yes, Thermite is going to be opening up the wall, but it's going to be a little bit too late. But Flacco might have something to say about that, as we are going to be seeing Thermite push in, but with 1 second left, that's going to be it. And Viper winning it out. Got very close there at the end, but time was their best friend. And something that I actually want to point out is a lot of people I feel are going to be saying, why was 7 peeking that? What was he doing? That was just idiotic. He wasted so much time. Just the fact that the Glaz couldn't really get into the building. Obviously, Glaz is going to sit there for a majority of the round, but the fact that 7 is just laying kind of pot shots onto that Glaz for an extremely long time, it is slowing down the play for Helm. That's why I think that's a very big reason why they ran out of time.
I'm just confused as to why Swick was pushing by himself over at the theater wall. I'm not too sure why he wasn't trying to push with his teammates over in VIP. Because he easily could have gotten that wall blown off, and they still had the Glaz alive with his smokes. And I don't even think there was any ADSs near them. So if you just leave Flacco playing inside of that Hall of Fame and have Glaz covering Swick from the VIP area and smoking off his entrance, I think that Helm is able to win out that round there. But unfortunately, it did not work out that way, and Viper is able to win out that round pretty easily, as they are sitting at a pretty comfortable 5-3 lead here. But once again, anything can happen here. We've seen Helm win a miracle round earlier in this match, and quite honestly, I can't really say who's gonna win this round here. These rounds have been super close.
Yeah, it's really been back and forth. I actually will somewhat disagree with you in the fact that they've been super close, because near the beginning, I feel before the half of Rotate, I feel we've seen some flawless rounds on both ends of these teams. So I wouldn't necessarily say these rounds have been close, but I feel like the whole game has been close, because it's always been back and forth with momentum shifts, back and forth with confidence shifts. Whereas maybe the rounds, there's been a couple that have been extremely close, like that plant one. But there's also been, I think, the majority. There's been a couple 4-1s for Viper. There's been, I think, 1 5-0 for Helm. So some of these rounds have been quite in favor of a other team.
Right. And honestly, like that run lucky, that's such big luck
Yeah.
of a round for Helm. If Flacco doesn't hit his shots as he's pushing the window, Viper is able to successfully defuse that diffuser. But honestly, it was a big stroke of luck massive stroke of luck, given that Flacco was able to plant the diffuser and walk away with 1 HP.
Yeah.
And Nader just wasted so much time trying to run out and secure the frag when he could have gone for the defuse and tried to make Flacco worry about Nate peeking him, given that he only had 1 shot. As Sublime is already jumping out of this big window, with Luna replying on penthouse window, making his way into the penthouse.
Oh, well.
And we are going to see Bean just having a flurry of DPI change on the Cold Vibe stairs as he's just having a party by himself. Meanwhile, first minute has been gone of the round here, and we have yet to see much action come out from both of these teams. As maybe he's having a bit of mouse issues.
I think he's just having a good time.
I think he's just having a good time. He's just bored out of his mind. But we are going to see Swick use his first thermite charge, trying to cut off some rotates over to the poolside area, as we do actually have a Ying on the attacking side. So if she's able to make her way towards the aquarium side, as you can't rappel up on that roof, unfortunately, she can make a lot of noise and a lot of discomfort for these defenders, as we're already pulling up to the first minute here. Seven's gonna be the first frag for Sublime on this round, as Sublime is lit up to very low HP. There is currently a castle of Ollie in luggage, but if Sublime needs to fall back and let some of his teammates come over and take the fight for him, because I don't think Sublime wants to get fragged here, not just yet. Is unimpeded, gets the frag onto Bean. That's the smoke gone. Good frag from the Ying out here, as Ollie's able to get the frag onto Swick. That's your thermite dead. Oh, getting another kill onto unimpeded. That's going to be the Ying dead, and Sublime still sitting on 1 HP.
Oh!
Shots coming out from Ollie. He almost hits the shots onto Luna. Not necessary to come out for the frag, but Luna is still sitting inside a theater here. Ollie's not too sure where the Ash is sitting as he patiently waits. Shots coming out from Luna Helm, able to land the shot successfully onto Ollie with 25 seconds left to go. Luna on 25 HP, as well as Sublime sitting on about 15 HP. That's all up to Flacco with 100 HP. As they start to make their progressive onto the site, Sublime has been downed in the site. Flacco getting the trade there onto Nader. 1v3 situation. It's all up to Geo to try to get the defuse down, as Flacco gets the shot onto Geo, giving Helm the match, giving Helm to get closer to tying it up to match points. And Helm is gonna be down 5-4 right now on coastline.
Extremely smart play there from the Glaz to drop down and recognize not only where that C4 came from, but also where that Valkyrie was going to rotate. Very, very smart from him, just kind of getting right there in front of the Valkyrie's face, because there was a very solid chance for that Valkyrie to kind of deny that defuse, because if she rotated back into the bar, got the pings she needed, she could have just shot right through the floor and secured the round, because there was basically 0 seconds left. So really smart play there overall by Helm, and also just incredibly skilled roam clear, just kind of not even roam clear, but just impactful frags early. Getting rid of that smoke so early on was 100% the difference of Viper losing and winning that, because if that smoke was in the play, we would have easily seen a couple of those operators not only run out of time, but potentially die, because so many of them were extremely low on health.
Right, and I'm running out of breath here, just having so much excitement. And this is honestly such a good showing from Helm. The community, a 95-5% vote in favor of Viper, as Helm is just able to shut down Viper so far. And they're currently 1 round win away from going to overtime, and I am just speechless at the amount of progress that Helm has been proceeding with here against Viper. And Viper is this is their strongest map, and the fact that Helm is taking them to their strongest map and getting very close to overtime, this is such a fantastic series. I'm very glad to be casting this series with you.
Yeah, it's been, I think, kind of shut down so many views from the community, as again, like you said, very significant vote in favor of the Viper side. So it's really good to see. I think the new signings for Helm not only are just kind of giving them a new light and a new awakening, but they've given them a little bit of a swagger to them, because they've come in as the underdogs. They just kind of the dark horses that nobody really knows about, and they are playing out of their minds on one of the best, on Viper's best map. So they're playing extremely well. They've obviously, I think, done a little bit of their homework on Viper, and it's, wow, that was close. It was great to see that Helm is kind of just giving them a run for their money, even though everybody was doubting them.
Right, as the first minute is already going to be coming to a close here. Viper has opted to go back to the hookah and billiards as Gio is needing to take a massive pee break. But unfortunately, he's not able to, given that he is currently playing a league match. He can do so at the end of this map here.
I mean, he could go now, but that wouldn't be smart.
That wouldn't be smart. Yeah, with the first minute already gone here, we're just waiting for the attackers to make their push. And Ollie making a bit of a more passive play here, hiding inside of the aquarium instead of playing over at the luggage roll. Last time he was in luggage, he was able to get the 2 frags onto both Swick and I forget that guy's name. Is it Uni something? I forget.
Oh, unimpeded.
But yeah, unimpeded. Either way, he was able to get 2 frags and almost a third onto Luna, which was a very good showing from Ollie inside of this luggage as he has rotated from the one side of aquarium to the other. Sublime is making his push here in the luggage as he's going to be greeted by Gio and Ollie should he decide to push here. I'm not too sure if there's a Jaeger device set up here, but that's going to be Gio peeking out. First nade is going to be coming out here from Sublime, tossing it over.
Oh!
That's going to be Gio getting fragged by Sublime, not aware of the nade being near him. As Ollie comes around to peek, he moves around towards the bar. As that, I guess Gio was waiting for the ADS to cover him, but the ADS was on the backside of the bar, so the nade was able to explode. Unfortunate for Gio as Luna gets a second frag onto Bean. What a shot here from Luna, as it's currently a 3v5 situation with 35 seconds left to go here. The attack is starting to make its progress. As 7 is currently peeking out wide into the hall, getting lit to about 50 HP. And Nader trying to make his way back into the hookah side with Ollie trying to defend Aquarium as much as he has. As Gio needs to have a sound bug. What the heck? Sublime jumps over and aggressively peeks Ollie as Flacco hits Nader. It's all to a 1v5 situation. Luna gets the final frag and frag 7. But unfortunately, we are going to have to go into a rehost and Helm's momentum will be stopped momentarily. But Helm bringing it back, being down 3-5 on Coastline. What a showing from Helm. I am at a loss for words. I can't even describe what is happening here. But unfortunately,
insane.
Sorry.
No, yeah, it has been.
Unfortunately, we
insane.
do have to rehost here. Viper is going to leave. We will be trying to get the players back as soon as possible. So we will see everyone back in about 3 to 4 minutes.
All right, guys. Yeah. So I just want to let you guys know this one might take a little bit longer as we were so deep into the game. It's going to take a little bit to kind of. Has everybody left? I don't know why, but we are going. It's going to just be a little bit longer because we have to go back and do a lot of round history. So
not really. As long as you just give 5 rounds to the
yeah.
attackers and defenders, it's just going to set up an overtime.
Yeah.
As long as you give the attackers winning the last round on the hookah side.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So it shouldn't take too long, but we'll be right back as soon as possible.
Life. you pulled me down. You said the stars would answer. You said our prayers were written down. I was fine when you pulled me in. We were forced to be human, and then the world came after, and I had never questioned it. And they said it was wrong. But we started it
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about the slight delay there. Helm was just kind of a little bit delayed on the ready, but I am hoping the rehost settings are all good. I have had very bad past in how my rehost settings work because I'm just so bad at them and I just start to panic. So I hope they are all good. The best kind of thing to see is just nothing pop up with the chat asking for another one. And I think we are good to go. So we should be getting right back into this now. And with that rehost, you got to be thinking, could it have taken the wind out of Helm's sails? And will Viper start to kind of go back to what we saw from the very beginning, where they were just dominant throughout that those attacking rounds? Or could we potentially see maybe Helm just continue this crazy, out of this world just play against a team that was just so highly favored?
Right, and Helm is just beating everybody's expectations. They were down, I think, 2-5 at one point, maybe?
Yes.
Or was it 2-4?
No, 2-4. 2-4.
2-4. Yeah, so they're down 2-4, and then they were down 3-5 with Viper on match point. Helm just clawing their way back, fighting 2 rounds in a row with a very strong showing. And I just can't congratulate the Helm players enough. Even if they were to lose this map, they should walk out of this map with their heads held high, because they are taking Viper to their best map and forcing overtime when they were down 3-5. And to me, that's a massive accomplishment. But if they're able to beat Viper, oh man, we're going to be in for a wild series.
Yeah, if somehow, actually, something that's very interesting to note is throughout this entire season, we've actually seen more wins on the opposite map than the map that the team picked. And what I mean by that is we've actually seen, so say a team picks Coastline as their map like we've seen here, they actually lose that map and then win the next map, which is the other team's map. So we've actually seen more wins like that than actual teams winning on their genuine map. But I don't really think that should be applying here because we've seen how dominant this Viper team is on Coastline. They are absolutely insane on Coastline. They beat Yeah Gaming on Coastline, the CCS team, and that's a hard task. And the fact that Helm is really just giving them a run for the money, it could, maybe you could say maybe Viper is just not playing very well, or it could be the complete opposite and Helm are just playing out of their minds.
Right, as I think that's Ollie currently underneath that big window. No, I think it's actually 7, yes. Wow, it's Bean. Bean just playing very aggressive underneath that window, just waiting for any attacker to come up here. But to his dismay, there is not going to be an attacker. Meanwhile, Luna already made his way into the luggage, but this door is barricaded here. So Luna is going to give away his position, knowing that there is someone in luggage, as that Ash charge is just not going to blast open the door. Meanwhile, Luna not going to care about it as much as he needs to, so he's going to retreat back to the billiard side, and we just see Geo making his way back to VIP.
As it looks like they're just kind of trying to get control of this VIP side. Luna really was the only person kind of astray here. All of the other attackers are focused on this VIP take, and that's a very typical take, especially on this, as Ollie is able to get the very first kill. That's going to be unimpeded, and that's a Yin off the board. Huge frag there for Ollie. That's a lot of disruption taken clean off, as we've seen that kind of Yin Glass meta fall out, but right now we've seen Helm. They've played it extremely well, so just getting rid of that Yin is a huge kill there for Ollie.
Right, and I think that Flacco could potentially frag that person that's hiding inside of the VIP. If Flacco and Luna pinch together here, they can get this person that's hiding inside of the VIP corner. Well, shots are coming out from Luna as he's missing a ton of them. On to 7, and Luna has been lit up to 1 HP. Very unfortunate for Swick. But Flacco needs to make a push here into the... Wow, Sublime gets a frag onto 7, but Luna is going to go down, saving his life, as Swick has been downed outside of the VIP corridor. Geo's gonna get the frag onto Swick.
Oh!
And Geo's gonna get another frag onto Flacco, not being aware of Geo hopping out. Not too sure if there could have been miscommunication coming out from them there. But Diffuser has been down, and Luna is making his way as Bean gets the frag onto Sublime with the 1v4 situation and only 20 seconds left to go here. Things are not looking good for the Helms roster, as Luna gets the frag onto Geo with 17 seconds left. Flash doesn't come onto VIP, but Ollie is there to get the frag onto Luna and finish out the first round of overtime in the favor of Viper.
Just a kind of unfortunate look away there for Ash, as right when she turned back around to make sure she didn't get flashed by the flashbang, she instead got flashed by a bullet in between her forehead. And just like that, Viper, I think, significantly bringing down the confidence of Helm. Obviously, this game is not over yet, but Helm were on a tear before that rehost, and they looked so good. Everything was going their way. You could call it luck, you can call it skill, you can call it whatever it was. Helm was still winning rounds, and that's all that matters. Whereas right there, they played extremely well, but Viper in the end still won it out, and I think Viper really needed that round. This is Viper's map, this is theirs to lose, and they do not want to lose it. They need to kind of, I think they got to close it out here, because if we give that momentum back to Helm, I'm almost 100% positive they'll be able to close it out in overtime match point when it's 6-6.
Right, as we do see Kitchen and Service Entrance is going to be the site here for Helm. And the first time that we saw Helm hold this site, they had a very strong presence with both Flacco and Sublime, I believe, or unimpeded actually, making a strong presence inside of the pink bar. And they were just able to shut down the attack of Viper within the first minute. And honestly, I don't think I've ever seen Viper go down so quickly before on Coastline.
Yeah, they have definitely, I think, exposed quite a lot of weaknesses on Viper's side on Coastline, as kind of something we haven't seen at all this entire season. It seems as if Viper were the untouchable kings of Coastline. But something you do tend to see as seasons go on, as time passes, their best map will slowly become your worst map. And this is very evident with teams such as the likes as G2, as they were an extremely good border team when it came around the early going of this year's Pro League. And now they hate border with a passion. That's because they either get counter-stratted to hell, or they just play it so much that everybody knows exactly what's going to happen, and then they're just going to ban it out, and then over time you just stop playing it. As
What a
Gio!
shot from Gio to get Flacco! Very unfortunate for Flacco to miss his shots, as Gio with such accuracy is able to land that pixel perfect shot. As pings are coming out here for Gio to try to pinch this defender that's currently hiding inside of the blue bar. Gio making his way towards the CCTV, just going to forget about it. As Seven is currently trying to attack from above here, above Hookah, as that's going to be Sublime dropping down to about 5 HP, and he is going to have to go for a reset here. But within the first minute, things are not looking good for Helm at all. They've already lost their dock, which I'm not too sure why Flacco was going for such an aggressive play so early on.
Oh,
But Unimpeded's
my.
gonna frag Sublime. Unfortunately, if you shoot your teammate in the face or in the leg, Seven gets the frag onto Unimpeded. Things are looking to go Viper's way here. But unfortunately, if you shoot your teammate without Rook armor, you're more than likely going to be able to frag them instead of downing them. So the way you need to reset your teammate is by shooting them through a soft wall or by tossing some utility at them that'll damage them and get the for sure down. As Bean is going to be planting in the smoke here, actually on top of this stove counterplate, with shots coming out from Swick as he hands the shot onto Seven.
Ooh.
Second frag coming out here from Swick onto Gio. 3v2 situation as Luna's not exactly aware, but Swick is gonna get fragged by Bean. 3v1 situation for Luna as Ollie puts the final nail in the coffin of Helm's dream to take them down, but it is going to be Viper coming out on top of Coastline for map number 1.
And it looked so good for Helm, but the Kings of Coastline are still going to be Viper nonetheless, but there's a lot of positives to take away if I am on the side of Viper, if I am on the side of Helm, as well as Viper. Obviously, their positive is the fact that they won, but we saw just how good Helm put up a fight. They were absolutely insane. They played extremely well. That's exactly what you want to see from a team that literally everything was against them when they came into this matchup. Nobody believed in them. Everybody was saying it was a 5% or a percentage that they would win. I mean, if that doesn't explain how much was against them, I don't really know what does. But unfortunately, on the screen, it does say Coastline is the next map. That is incorrect. Coastline is not the next map. I'm going to quickly change that for you guys as we go into the break. But just like that, there is going to be 4 minutes of break here, and we'll be right back as soon as possible.
We started it all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and after an impressive performance from both teams, we're going to be going on the map of Border, and something with Border that I think could be a disadvantage for Helm. Obviously, this does still kind of apply with Coastline, as Coastline is a very common map to be played, but I feel like Border is one of those maps that everybody has Border is one of those maps that are extremely linear, and everybody knows the strats because it's so linear. So having this being your map isn't really an advantage, but rather a comfort pick, and maybe that could bring back Helm, because maybe we could see Viper are extremely dominant on this Border map as well. So it's a good map because it's comfortable, everybody knows what you're doing, but it's also a bad map because it's comfortable and everybody knows what you're doing, so everyone is kind of in the same ballpark. Whereas sometimes you want to have your maps where it kind of sets you apart from your opponents, whereas I think this pick might not do that for Helm.
Right, and Border is one of those maps that we've seen many teams, like you said, it is a comfort pick, and a lot of teams mostly pick this map due to it being in the map pool for such a long amount of time since year one. It's been in the competitive map pool for about 2 years. I know that when Border first came out, a lot of teams disliked it. They were not comfortable on it. They didn't want to play it. They didn't even want to get used to playing it. But Border eventually made its way to being one of the top picked maps in the competitive scene. And to me, Border is one of those. It's such a balanced map, and in my opinion, I think this is the best DLC map that Ubisoft has ever made.
I kind of agree. I feel like Coastline, I like Coastline a little bit better because I'm just not a fan of Border personally. Just when I play ranked or when I play casual, whatever I'm doing, I just like Coastline a lot better. Also because I feel like Coastline is just a pretty map. It's just nice and colorful. It's like on the beach, like on a rock. It just looks nice. Whereas Border, there's a guy screaming in your ear not to board a helicopter, and it's all dirty, it's all dusty. It's not appealing. But nonetheless, just Border and Coastline, both are really good competitive maps, and I think that's why it's really nice to see these two teams kind of go up against each other on these maps, because you know it's going to ensure the closest play, and it's going to ensure the better team wins it out in the end. So that's why I really like to see both of these guys choosing Coastline and Border, because it's really going to show who's the better team, because it's a very even playing field right now.
Right, and I'm just very interested to see that they banned both Mira and Maestro. We are seeing a pulse being taken out here by Geo. But there is an IQ on the attacker side with Sublime, and should Sublime try to roam hunt, I believe that Geo might be playing below the site and workshop. We could see potential pulse being taken out here within the first minute, but it all depends on how Viper decides to play Geo, and only time will tell.
And something that we have seen throughout the entire league, which is kind of unfortunate, is a lot of players who play IQ do tend to use her just for her gun and not really her utility. And we've actually seen, I don't mean to kind of call anybody out, but Hourly on Ego, he played IQ quite a lot against Illuminate, and Illuminate have probably one of the best Pulse players in the entire league of Articus, playing downstairs with that shotgun, and not once did we see Hourly actually pull out his scanner and try to find the Pulse. But right now, this is a good start, as Sublime has actually pulled it out, and that's something we don't typically see, which is kind of unfortunate to say.
Right. Hourly's argument would be that he didn't know that there was a Pulse yet. They had been bringing a Pulse every single defense round, even after the first round. Still try to at least kind of find him. But there's already going to be some shots. Wow, what a shot from Bean! As he's going to be able to find that frag onto the Buck. Very unfortunate timing there for the Buck to be taken out, as Luna is going to be shocked here from the bandit trick. And honestly, with that Buck off the board, things are not going to go good. And if I'm Helm, I need to call for an immediate rotate over to the opposite side. They need to forget about this armory take and rotate around to the offices while they still have half the round to play.
Yeah, they need to rotate quickly because they're not going to get that half shelf control without that buck underneath. Yes, you can get a couple ash holes underneath, but it's not going to be even close to enough pressure as you would need. But it looks like Helm nonetheless are still just going to be going for this as just like that. Bean is actually able to get another kill through the kill holes, as those holes, they do work both ways, but right now it seems like a one-way mirror, as just every single time we see Helm's players are getting caught out by these little holes in the floor, and this is just not looking good. It looks like now they kind of don't have enough time to make this rotate, and they're just gonna have to stick it out here in a very unfavorable situation. Oof.
Wow, Luna going down, but just outside of that smoke area, as Flacco's gonna get the first frag onto 7 for Helm.
Oh!
And double frag, double C4 kill coming out from Geo. Perfect timing, as Ollie's gonna get Claymored out here with the 2v1 situation, actually, since Nader has been down here. Flacco unaware of where the defenders are currently playing at. He barely sees the smoke coming around with Flacco on 1 HP, and Geo's gonna come around and swing through the 90 hallway and frag out Flacco.
That is that is a very hard sentence,
but tongue twister, but
yeah,
a very good shot from Geo to close out the round with that EG skin, and Viper's gonna go up to round 1-0 on border.
And very, very good pinch there at the very end, just kind of getting that crossfire set up onto the last operator. Obviously, a 3v1, you can kind of get those crossfires set up, so it's not as impressive, but they also did get to that advantage of 3v1, which is always extremely impressive. So nice performance there from Viper coming out onto Helm's map and just getting that first round. But we obviously saw last map, Helm got the first round, and well, that ended with Helm not winning. So potentially, if the pattern continues, Viper shouldn't win this map. But that is the stupidest thing to say, because that is just so far in the future, and this is Rainbow Six, probably the most fluid game on the market. So you can't make a prediction at all. We've obviously seen just how back and forth these matches have been. It's really just anybody's game until the very end.
Yeah, Viper with a pretty strong showing out here. On the first round, I'm just a little confused as to why Helm didn't make a rotate, why the IGL didn't call for a rotation once the first thermite charge got destroyed. But I guess they wanted to stick with it, as the site is going to be currently moved down to the workshop and ventilations unit. Unimpeded, very unfortunately, being the first frag of Helm, and being just in a very good position to frag him outside of that ventilation window. So honestly, with that buck on, it was a lot of pressure on the attackers to try and I personally believe that once the buck is dead off the floor and he's the first one gone, your attack strategy needs to shift from going from the armory to the offices take, because it requires less utility to be spent. You're most likely not going to have anyone tricking over there, since Bandit is so focused on that armory wall. But that didn't seem to be the case for Helm, and they paid the price for it.
Yeah, absolutely. As we are going to be moving into the kind of entry position of the second round here, and just getting control of up top and as much vertical control as possible, especially on the map of border, and this site of ventilation room workshop is a must for this Helm attacking side, as that's exactly what they're doing. As oh my, Swick just missing the camera. That is just a little bit embarrassing, but he gets it in the end. That's really is what matters. But already pushing very hastily into the security room, but they are safe. They have droned it out, as Ollie though is able to get the very first frag, and that's Zofia down. That's quite a lot of utility right off the board extremely early. That's going to make this roam clear very difficult now, as really the only person to try to kind of disrupt this defense on top of it with his vertical control is the buck with some grenades, but that's just about it.
Yeah, Ollie taking a bit of not a bit, just like a ton of damage after getting that firefight with Zofia. But wow, 7 on the shotgun. He could come out around and get the frag, but he's currently sitting around 50 HP. If he peeks around, he's gonna get fragged and make a boneheaded mistake, as that's going to be Swick getting the frag onto the Bandit. That means no more Bandit tricking or batteries on that armory wall. Ollie currently sitting at 25 HP, but he does get the frag onto Swick. That's going to be the hard breacher down, as Sublime currently sitting at around 1 HP after taking a shotgun shell to the body. Ollie currently being a little bit aggressive here. I don't think he's going to win this gunfight if he comes to peek around.
Oof.
Shots coming out here, and Sublime is actually gonna get down, but if Ollie comes around, he's gonna get fragged by that Claymore. Sublime in a very good position to be fragged out, as Geo actually is gonna get the frag through the floor with that C4 kill, as Unimpeded is currently pushing through the armory. Ollie has made his way through into the CCTV unit, and Unimpeded, and Ollie's already made his way downstairs. Actually, he could be going up metal, but Unimpeded currently playing inside of armory still with only 40 seconds left to go. Helm in a very precarious position, and they are just not looking good here. As Bean comes around and gets the 4th frag onto the Unimpeded, Buck gone. It's all up to Flacco on the Jackal. A little bit of a rhyme there. As pings are coming out, and Flacco not able to land the shots onto Bean, giving Viper a 2-0 map lead here on Border.
That roam clear from Helm was extremely flawed. First off, just losing that Zofia early on, I think, really put them into a position where no matter what, that roam clear was going to be difficult. But then they lost the hard breacher early, so then you're just thinking, oh crap, now we really can't get control of site either. Then they just one by one were just walking into the crosshairs of every single defender, and they focused, I think, a little bit too much up top, because at that point in the round, when you've sacrificed so many bodies for that push upstairs, and then really nothing's going for you, and you only have 2 people left with about 40 seconds, you just have to call the hard rotate. There's no point of trying to get control of that upstairs, because you're not going to get it. It's just going to waste your time, and there's 0 chance you're going to win that round. Helm didn't do that. We saw Buck and Jackal both stay upstairs for the entire duration of the round, and the Castle got 2 easy frags and just kind of caught them with their pants down. So very just imperfect roam clear from the Helm side. They definitely got to figure that out, because Armory Locker Archives, I'm not Armory Locker Archives, my fault, but Workshop and just the Workshop, the downstairs, the downstairs site, you need to get vertical control, especially on Border, and they just didn't get that. So they need to figure that out here, because again, it's another downstairs site. They need to get control of this offices area, or they're going to lose the round almost the exact same way they lost the last one.
Right, and I just want to point something out here, that Lion is not banned on Border, so Lion is available to play on the 3rd round here. We did see Sublime trade away that Buck for the Lion, and with Lion on the board, things can be very scary if you're on the defensive side, and especially if it's a Bathroom Teller's hold. So if Helm is able to play this out correctly, I do see them walking away here with a very easy win, given that they have the Lion and the Zofia and the Ying in play.
Lots of disruption on the side of Helm, and if they play their cards correctly, these operators and their utility, obviously, I think it's self-explanatory for how good the utility is for Lion, but just kind of using Zofia correctly and using Ying correctly does take a little bit of skill, and if Helm can kind of pinpoint exactly what they need to do, this is a very good attacking composition. They just got to play their cards right, and we could easily see this immediately bring it back to 2-1. They just got to clear out these roamers properly.
Right, Ollie currently sitting over here in the fountain behind a reinforced wall, as Bean is getting some shots fired and Unimpeded, just unaware, as Bean is going to get a 2nd frag onto Flacco. What is happening with Helm? How is Bean not even getting touched? What is happening is Sublime is already near the site. What is going on? Oh, what a shot from Sublime, as Bean gets the 3rd frag onto Luna. And that is going to be the Zofia, Ashe, and Ying gone, as Bean gets a 4th frag onto Sublime. Oh no, 7, that's the 4th frag. And shots coming out here, but Bean misses his shots onto Swick. Shots coming out here.
Oh, whoa.
A ton of attackers are coming around, but Swick doesn't have enough ammo. And 7 is gonna get the final frag onto Luna, onto Swick, and wow. What a flurry of kills to be coming out here on from Viper. Wow.
That was way too close to comfort, I think, for Viper. They played that very well until the very end, when they decided, hey, let's just go sick them like a bunch of dogs, because there has been so many clips. I think you literally could just search up Rainbow Six highlights, and if there's a top 10, I'm almost guaranteeing 5 of them are when the defense just sprints at the attacker and they just line up their heads. That was so close to happening there, and we could have seen Swick pull out an incredible play, but it would have been to the thanks of the Viper side, just playing a little bit too aggressive there at the end. No matter what, they still get the win, and again, I always say this, it doesn't really matter if you get the round win, but hindsight is 2020. So Helm and Viper, I think both need to look back at that round, especially Viper, even though they did win it. They need to kind of recognize maybe that isn't the best time to get aggressive, but rather just kind of wait it out and wait for Swick to run into your crosshairs, not run into his.
Yeah, I do know that we did see Flacco. He was doing a ton of work with that Glaz, but seeing as Glaz is banned here, Flacco looking a little lost and not really able to frag out as much as he was able to. He's only gotten one frag so far on playing Jackal and Ashe, and Helm just not really able to keep up with the aggressive pushes that Viper seems to be coming out with.
And it's weird to say, sorry to interrupt, but that's weird, obviously continue, but that's weird to say considering Helm are the ones on attack, and we're seeing Viper as defense, but they're the one pushing the attack.
Right. And if Helm needs to try to flip a switch here and get something going for them, because they've currently lost 3 rounds in a row. And if I'm on Helm, I need to just need to keep my head focused, keep a clear mind, and just know that, wow, what is Seven doing playing on the Easter so aggressively like that? That is a very big impact frag coming out from Seven to take down the Lion. And if I'm on Viper and the Lion is dead within the first 30 seconds, I gotta be rejoicing. I don't care if I'm dead, as long as Lion is off the board, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, absolutely. You could sacrifice literally any operator just to get that Lion off the board, and you're having a good trade there. And the fact that it was a Capkin who's already placed down all of his utility, that's a great trade. I think right now Sublime in comms is probably saying, why is he there? What is he doing? Because I think that's what everybody is thinking. Seven, so unpredictable on that push there. I would have never expected that, especially in a competitive match. Maybe you'd see it in ranked, but Seven is playing really aggressive, and it works out in the end. And sometimes it doesn't, but this time he timed it very well.
Yeah, that could have been prevented with some droning, but I don't even think there was a drone over at the East Stairs, because the last 3 rounds we've never seen Viper go over even close to those East Stairs. So I'm pretty sure they were comfortable with just trying to rush over to the stairs. But Seven just got them off guard and just immediately fragged out the Lion, as Luna's going to be opening up this balcony wall. That's the first exothermic charge to be used, and this could be an office take coming out from Helm, as Unimpeded is currently sitting outside of the Archives balcony. Shots coming out from Unimpeded as he is down in the smoke, but Ollie able to save his friend's life as that's being down. Ollie with the good frag to take down the Yang, and that's no more Candelas either for the attackers. It's all up to Flacco, Swick, and Luna. What frag from Geo jumping out of the window. Nobody watching the window, and Viper looking to go up 4-0 here with 45 seconds left to go. Luna does have some time to clutch this out, but I don't think she's gonna be able to find all 4 defenders here.
Yeah, let alone secure the frag on all 4 of them, as right now Viper have a hot hand when it comes to gun skill. They are mechanically on their game right now, as Smoke is going to be able to not secure it somehow. Luna is able to get that, cuz it does come around the corner, kills the Pulse, and makes it a 2v1. Now it's going to be all up to the band, making it a 1v1.
You gotta be kidding me!
And
there's no way that he's going to win this. As there's currently the last member of the defense inside, it's Nader playing with Echo Drones on his side. He has 9 seconds. Luna has to push around and frag him out, but he doesn't get the clutch. Unfortunately, Nader is able to win the round for Viper. I think if Luna would have tossed a flashbang over the top of that bookcase, he flashes out Nader and does secure the frag. But what an insane attempt to clutch that out from Luna, getting the remaining 3 defenders, but oh so unfortunate to not finish it out. Oh man, you've got to be feeling really devastated after that.
Yeah, right now I think this is not an insult, considering that we're seeing Viper are playing extremely well, but Viper's playing a little bit like rank stars. They're very aggressive. They are kind of just jumping out. They're just in your face, and that's fine. A team that is exceptionally good at that will be, you can look at Disrupt. This is no disrespect. Again, no disrespect at all. This is a valid tactic. Disrupt, they're so good with their gun skill. they can peek everything. They can run out on everything because they're going to win the gunfight, and they're confident that they're going to do that. That's what we're seeing here from Viper, and that type of confidence not only helps the team, but it seeps out of the team, and they just get this swagger where they think, we can win every single round. We just got to play aggressive, just get in their face, and they can literally do nothing against us. That's exactly what Viper is going through right now. They look so good right now, and Helm, they're kind of stuck in this almost passive play, even when they're the attacking side. They are getting beat on gunfights. They're getting beat on time. They're just getting beat all over. And they're the team that's supposed to be the aggressors. But right now, Viper have complete control of the tempo of the match. And already 4-0. If they secure match point already, that's going to be an unfortunate turn of events for Helm, considering this is also their map.
Right, and Helm looking a little shaken up, but Luna, that 3K coming out from Luna is probably going to give Helm maybe, just maybe, the confidence boost that they need to try to come back, as they are down 4-0. They have been in deficits like this before, but Luna got to be feeling really good about himself to be able to get those 3 frags. And if he would have just maybe tossed over a flashbang above that bookcase, I think he gets that frag onto Nader. But then again, he was at around 1 HP, and if Nader's pre-fragging that spot, I think Nader wins that gunfight regardless. Meanwhile, Luna is already making his way towards this office's window, and Seven just being super aggressive, running out of this CCTV and armory lockers patio. And Luna's gonna get the frag onto Ollie. What a shot from Luna to take down Ollie. That's the Jaeger dead. And the site is still upstairs, is downstairs meanwhile. But there is a defender roaming up here, and I think that is going to be either Geo or I think that is Geo upstairs. Yeah. Oh no, Geo's downstairs. I'm sorry.
It's going to be Seven.
Upstairs. It's Seven, yeah. Seven getting droned out. Lion scan coming out. They know that he's inside of the small office. If Seven moves, he is going to get scanned.
Oh, what a shot
from Seven! Holy crap! Meanwhile, Sublime gets the trade onto Seven, but that's your Dokkaebi gone, and you cannot hack any more defender cams. Now let's say that's a very good trade as Swick gets the shot onto Bean.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But meanwhile, Geo gets the trade onto Swick as Swick had dropped the hatch. Wasn't a very smart call from Swick. Meanwhile, Luna is going to be reset to 50 HP, and it's all up to the Lion, Ashe, and Jackal of Helm to try to clutch this out. Pulse sitting at 100 HP, as well as Nader. They can clutch this out. And wow, Geo actually able to spot out that Ashe on her drone. Maybe he went for a C4 flag, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, he went ahead and wasted his C4. It's not going to connect. Currently waiting for someone to drop the hatch with only 1:10 left to go. Helm has to make a push here at some point when Nader is watching that hatch.
Yeah, we are reaching the last minute here of the push, and time is always on the defense's side until that plant comes down. So technically you could say it's an extra player and it's a 3v3 right now and the terms are even, but if we're actually just looking at the numbers of things, it is still going to be a 3v2 with the last Lion scan coming out. This is when the push should ensue. Ashe looks like she is going to capitalize on this Lion scan and push into the bomb site, but she does not have the bomb. Jackal is the one with the diffuser. So it looks like Ashe is just kind of trying to clear out this room as much as possible. Jackal is going to be going down for the plant. Sublime is able to get the kill onto Geo, and that is going to be a huge frag, leaving it all up to the Echo. But Echo is slowly creeping around here and could potentially get the planter, but Luna has something else to say as finally Helm are able to secure their very first round win, and it felt like so long.
Helm able to finally secure a round for themselves on the board. And Luna just seeming to have a big boost of confidence, but they're no longer going. Helm is no longer going to be on the attack. Instead, we're going to see a change of sides, with Viper going on the offensive and Helm going on the defense. As the first site that they are going to choose is going to be this Armory, Lockers, and Archives site.
And just looking at the way kind of Helm and we've seen Viper play, obviously, and Coastline, you can never really count either of these teams out, as it was just back and forth, especially on Coastline. Helm was down 4-2, and they were able to bring it back to an overtime, in the end still losing it. But I kind of feel like something's a little bit different about this match. I feel like Helm might be kind of running low on the gas here, and the gas being just their confidence and how well they can kind of come back from this major deficit, because Border is, again, the most linear map in the game right next to Oregon, and it's so much harder to come back on a linear map than it is to come back on a map like Coastline, Consulate, Bank, things that have a lot of playstyles to it. Because when you're playing on Border and you just kind of keep doing the same strats, keep going down the same road, you're going to struggle so much just winning those gunfights, just having momentum, just trying to establish yourself is going to be 10 times harder than it would be on a map like Coastline, Consulate, or Bank, or things like that. So it feels a little bit different here for Helm. I'm definitely not counting them out at all, but I'm still saying a lot of the momentum, and I think the majority of people are thinking right now, Viper should be able to secure this just based on the history of how this map gets played out.
Right, they are sitting at a 4-1 advantage, but we have seen Helm claw their way back as we did last match. And Helm, so far, getting that boost of confidence after winning the final round on attack. They do have a chance here, since they are down only by 3 rounds. They're probably thinking to themselves, okay, we finally won a round, we are finally on the board. We need to play this out super smart and not give up anything to Viper, as Swick's Echo Drones are going to be easily taken out here by 7. We're using a very good use of utility, but Swick peeks out and takes down Bean. That's the Thermite dead. What a shot from Swick. And Ollie's here trying to cut off rotation, seeing if he can stop anyone from pushing out. That's going to be the first firebolt from this Capitao going down, as Swick is not able to see anyone at the balcony just yet, but he is able to see if anyone pushes in. 7 still trying to see if he can find this Echo Drone. But as he's pushed in, he is going to find the second Echo Drone as he does get stunned. Ollie making his way into the site. First line scan coming out as Swick is going to hop out and get the knife onto G. That is going to be the buck gone in a 3v5 situation for the attackers, but Diffuser has gone down.
Oh.
Swick going down here in 7, and I don't know who that is, but they are going to get the frags. Meanwhile, Flacco gets the frag onto Ollie. 2v3 situation with the attackers having to guard this Diffuser, as Diffuser is potentially going to be making a play here. With just Flacco on very low HP, Flacco can long arm this Diffuser if he gets into the right position, but he can't seem to find the right position to get the frag. As 7 comes around and peeks out Flacco. 7 currently pushing his way through the offices, and 7's gonna win that gunfight onto Luna, giving Viper the 5-1 round advantage here on.
And that is just going to secure match point for the team of Viper, and that was quite an interesting round. Just some weird peaks, some weird runouts. Obviously, Swick's runout did work in the end, but we saw a great high IQ play there from Nader, knowing where that rotate was going to come out from the Echo, just pre-firing the barricade and actually landing the kill on the Echo, forcing him to, well, obviously stop in his tracks considering he is dead. So very, very smart play from Nader. I think that could have easily been what won the round for them, because if that Echo did in the end rotate back up to site, we could have seen a major flank from offices onto the IQ that was actually proceeding to flank the people in offices as well. So it was almost a double flank kind of within itself, but the Echo was eliminated, so that was just kind of taken out of the picture, and it was all up to 7 just securing the frags. And 7 is always extremely good at doing that. He's proved that just time and time again, obviously last week and this week. So really just all around great play there from Viper, and they are looking almost unstoppable, but you can never count Helm out. They are a team that just won't give up without a fight. But right now, on their own map of Border, they just aren't, it just doesn't seem like it's all there for them. It might be seem their confidence is just kind of shaken up a little bit, and it's not the same vibe we were feeling on Coastline. It seemed as if on Coastline, every time we saw Helm win a round, it was just like they ignited a new car. They just were just speeding down this highway of just joy and happiness. Whereas now, when they win a round, even though they've only won 1, it just kind of felt like it was almost pointless, and it was just something that kind of just happens. But again, never count them out. They are still in this, but Viper are looking almost unstoppable. Keyword there though, almost.
Right, and I've kind of started to lose my voice a little bit from all the shouting I've been doing. But Helm getting very close to winning that last round. I think if Flacco is able to position himself to get that long diffuse, I think that the rotational that they made was blocking him from getting the diffuse going through. But if they are able to start diffusing that, I think Helm would have won that round.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it would almost been like a ninja defuse in Black Ops where you don't really know what's happening and just kind of just diffuses and just like that. As we see, wow, interesting sight as Seven is actually uses the red dot on the IQ gun of the 5.52 Commando. That's extremely odd, something you don't typically see. As I think right now the push here from Viper does look a little bit disgruntled. They don't really quite. Oh, going for the reset there. I was extremely confused.
Geo was lit up. I don't know where from exactly. Trying to see if they can meme around out of Helm with I think maybe 2 or 3 of their attackers are currently taking red dot sights, and even Bean is just being a memer with the suppressor.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah.
Bean trying to get this wall open here on the balcony. If he is able to succeed with that, which he is, Viper going to have a ton of time to work with to try to get this plant going off, as they do still have a Capital on the board. And wow, Seven's gonna get the first frag onto Luna as Geo gets the second frag onto I can't tell what that is, but that's the Doc dead. Unimpeded, excuse me, as Ollie is on the sandwich window, gets the frag there onto Flacco, as Flacco's C4 was able to connect with the defuse planter. And Ollie hitting a hipfire shot as Helm is going to lose out here. 6-1, and Viper just demolishing Helm. Wow, as that's just heartbreaking to Helm, seeing that they almost won Coastline in a 7-5 fashion, just to come out and get demolished on Border. That's got to be heartbreaking, especially with the showing that they had and the promise that they had coming into map number 2. That was a very short map.
Yeah, that was extremely quick. I think obviously it was 6-1, so that does make it quicker, but also the rounds closed out, none of which being ran out of time. I think one maybe was, but just the fact that we saw Viper struggle on their map pick and then just dominate on their non-map pick, that opens up so many doors for them, because now people are going to think, do we ban Border or do we ban Coastline? Do we ban this or do we ban that? Viper are really seeping their way to be one of the best teams in the league, and they are doing it with style, and they're just dominating some of the competition right now. Like I said, so many doors have opened up because of this match, because now people are going to look at this match and say, wait a second, we know they're good on Coastline, but now that we've seen them on Border, we've seen them on Villa, we've seen them on all these maps where they win it out, what the hell are we supposed to ban? And that puts Viper in a really, really nice spot. But just like that, obviously, we are going to be coming back with the post-game interview in very, very shortly here in about 3 minutes, I would say. But Uzumaki, do you have any closing remarks about this matchup?
I think that Coastline was probably the best cast that you and I have ever done so far this season.
Yeah,
that map was just absolutely insane from both sides. Nobody expected Helm to show up like that on Coastline. But Border was a completely different story with Viper, just a 6-1 demolition. Big props to Viper for closing it out too. But people are gonna probably take a second look at Helm and realize that they're probably not a pushover team. That, you know, with the addition of Swick, they can be a very dangerous team here.
If there's 2 conclusions you need to take away from this match, it's that Viper are a top 3 team, and they need to be put on your list as the one of the most fearful teams in the league. And the other thing you need to take away is you got to take a second look at Helm. You got to figure them out, because they have proven themselves quite a bit against a very, very strong team, and they're only going to get better. This roster is relatively new, and the fact that they came out and put on a show is huge for them. And obviously, everybody's got to put them on their list as well. This season, no matter what, no doubt, is just going to get so much more competitive, and it's already been so competitive. We've had more 2-1s in the first, this is obviously we're in week 5, but we had more 2-1s in the first 3 weeks of this season than we did all last season. So that just shows these games, they're getting closer. These teams are getting more aggressive. They're getting more competitive, and that's always so, so nice to see. But just like that, guys, no need to waste your time anymore. We are going to get this interview set up very, very shortly, and we'll be right back, just kind of seeing what was going through the mind of these Viper players. Boom, not muted anymore. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for tonight. I'm obviously going to hop into that interview just in a moment, but today's matchup was so good, absolutely insane. Those guys played their hearts out, but I'm going to quickly hop into this interview and talk to Ali. It's exactly what was going through the Viper team head, their head, but obviously it's only Ali for some reason. The rest of the team didn't want to join, so I guess we can just figure out what was going through his head instead. So I'm going to quickly hop in there. All right,
It's
hello?
not my game.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, Red Cube?
All right, okay, so I'm just gonna get right into the questions, just right away. Obviously, what?
No,
I know,
okay,
I know. I remember it from last week, and I still fell for it. But okay, so going right into the questions. So, obviously, coming into this matchup, you guys are finding yourselves at a really nice spot in the table. You guys are near the top of the table, and Helm find themselves near the lower half of the bracket. Did that change how you guys came into this matchup? Did you guys kind of just want to try to take it lackadaisical, or were you guys just, let's get things done just how we always get things done?
Yeah, pretty much. We just came in there, big dick swinging, ready,
Sheesh.
guns a-blazing, yeah.
Absolutely. But the second the second question I have is, there was a moment on Coastline, obviously.
Oh my god!
Alrighty. I guess the FBI just raided box.
Yeah, that was...
Anyway, as you were saying, Henry.
Yeah, on Coastline, there was a moment when we actually saw there was a moment where we saw, obviously it being your map, and you guys are kind of known for being really strong on Coastline. You guys started kind of pull away from it, and Helm started kind of get a lot of traction in that matchup. What did you guys do in order to just bring yourselves back into that and secure that win and make sure that they weren't kind of on the winning end of your own map?
I'm not gonna lie, when we saw what they did to Rome Clear, like, we kind of pussied up. But then we just said, fuck it, Rome, see what happens, and it worked out. And, we just hope for the best. It worked, I think. Yeah, it did.
It obviously did, but that's going to be all of my questions. Uzumaki, do you have any?
No. So going into Coastline, what were your expectations?
We didn't know anything about them, so we didn't know what to expect. Honestly.
Like, for your team, like.
Oh,
what
for
were
your
you
team?
expecting?
We're-
Yeah.
Honestly, we're expecting to win it.
Yeah, they honestly gave you guys a big run for your money.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not expecting for them to be giving you guys such a close game, but in the end, you guys won it out. What do you guys think changed after losing those final 2 rounds in regulation?
We had to serious up and just, like, actually find a way to counter and just to actually, like, win, capitalize off their mistakes. We talked about it, and we just, like, thought what we could do, and it did what we did, and we took the dub.
Yeah, let me just check something here real quick for when you guys next play. So you guys are going to be playing Hyper Academy next week.
Okay.
And what are your thoughts going on? What are your team's thoughts going into this next matchup for next week?
I saw they lost to Moral, so I don't know what to expect, because I've never played Moral, so I don't know, like, how.
It's against Hyper Academy.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying, like, they lost to
Oh.
Moral, so I don't know, like, I don't know, like, how of a team like Mar,
Yeah.
I guess we have to just come in here and do our homework on the VOD, see what we
That'll help a lot.
yeah, for sure. So I don't know, be prepared.
And do you have anything else to say, Red?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks, Ali, so much for sticking
problem.
around. Really appreciate it. Obviously, great game from your entire team, and obviously you today. And again, just thanks so much for sticking around, and wish you guys the best of the luck in the future matches.
Yerp! Ask at it!
Papa Ollie.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. Obviously, it's always so great to interview Ali, as he is just such a character. But that's going to be it, guys. Such a good matchup. Obviously, is a little bit disappointing, I feel, on Border. It kind of wasn't really what we were expecting. I feel that that Coastline Helm versus Viper match was just so good. I feel like kind of got us spoiled a little bit. Whereas then when we went on to Border, it was just not as, I guess, there's not as much to it as I felt there was in the Coastline match. But either way, Helm, definitely you guys got to put them on your list as they put up a great fight against Viper. And Viper, if they weren't on your list already, they better be now, as they just continue to be so dominant. But that's basically all I have to say for today. Again, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. You guys make this all possible. But Uzumaki, do you have anything or some closing remarks?
No, I do have to say that the first match was a bit of a letdown given how quick it ended. But match number 2, holy moly, that was probably one of the best matches that you and I have seen all season.
Yes.
And we're gonna be casting. I'm not gonna be casting tomorrow. I think Jazzman will. But the next day that I'm gonna be casting with you will most likely be next week on